What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Olivia here, and in today's video I kind of want to have a discussion that I see kind of quite often online in the producer community, and that is in 2021, in this kind of modern day of production, is it worth it to learn music theory? So let's talk about it.
Young and driven.
So if we're being honest, in this kind of modern day of production, with there being so many different things like loop kits, MIDI packs, you got Splice, you got Arcade, you got Captain Chord, Scalar, all of these different things that are great that you may or may not use. Is it really something as a new producer, or if you're a producer that has been producing for a while, is it something that you should even focus on or think about to add to your arsenal or skills as a producer? Is music theory something you should focus on? And usually when these discussions are had online, there's usually a big divide in the community, and it becomes almost like this little pretentious conversation that's had that, oh, you're not a real producer if you don't, or you're not a real producer if you type in your melodies, or you're not a real producer if you use loop kits, or and just all these different things. Even it's not so much now, but I remember I've been producing, I would say, for like over 10 years. I remember a time when FL Studio was laughed at. Like, if you used FL Studio to produce, like, people made fun of you for that. And today, like, I don't think anybody cares at all what type of DAW you use, but especially not FL. I would say it's probably one of the most popular DAWs that people use. But those whole conversations of you're not a real producer if you don't do this, or you're not a real producer if you do that, and if you're asking, should I learn music theory to combat that, like as a answer to that, then I would say my next question would be, then what is your goal of producing, right? If your goal as a producer is to produce songs for artists, like you want to get your songs placed, you want to make either hit songs or just songs that you like and other artists like, then whatever helps you achieve that goal, if that's learning music theory, if that's using Arcade, if that's using a combination of both, whatever helps you reach that goal, I say is the answer. I personally believe that knowing music theory doesn't define you or make you or break you as a producer. There's plenty of successful producers who've made hit songs that don't know music theory at all, right? I was recently watching a video by Timbaland, and someone asked him that question on one of his streams, and he was basically saying it's not important to learn music theory, right? And mainly because of all the other reasons I said early in this video, with all the different programs there are to help you, right? Like, let's say you don't know music theory at all, but you know a song has to be in a particular key, right? There's so many VSTs and different things that you can use that no matter what key you press on your MIDI keyboard or whatever program you're using, that will make sure you're staying in key. So you don't have to know music theory at all. You just pick your scale and you're gonna be perfectly in tune, right? So he was saying that's one reason it's not super important. And then the second and probably more important reason why he says it's not important to focus on is because music is about a feeling. And this kind of goes back to my earlier point of, like, what is your goal for producing, right? And now, as producers, there's so many reasons why you might have got into producing. Maybe it's because you want to sell beats, or you want to have your music either rapped on or sung on by rappers or singers. Maybe you just want to produce instrumental tapes for people to listen to. Maybe you want to hear your stuff in movies and TVs. There's so many different reasons why you as a producer produce. But ultimately, no matter what reason that is, it's usually because there's some type of feeling behind it. Like, you really enjoy it, either making it, you enjoy having people on your music, you enjoy people listening to your music, and different things like that. So with all that said, is it important to learn music theory to prove that you're a real producer or to make good music? No, that's been proven. You don't need to know music theory to be able to make hit songs or whatever it is to achieve your goal. So if your goal is to sell beats, if your goal is to produce hit songs, if it's to just have people listen to your music on the internet, then no, you don't need to know music theory to achieve that goal. Now, can music theory be a stepping stone to help you achieve that goal? Yes. So that kind of brings me to my next point of the video, which is no, it's not a requirement for you to know music theory to be successful in the music business, or to have your songs placed, or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve by making music, right? That's been proven. It's not required for you to learn music theory. But if you look at it like this, I like to compare a lot of things to sports. So if you look at everybody on the internet, all the producers on the internet, and those that have been producing longer than the internet was even really around, if you look at all of us as like professional athletes, right? Anybody that plays a professional sport that's in a league, whether it be the NBA, WNBA, NFL, any professional sports league, right? All of them have a certain level of skill that separates them from people that are non-professionals, right? And yet there's only a few people that stand out. So like, let's say take basketball for example. There's like over 400 players in the NBA, but maybe like 10, 15 players that really stand out. And so what's the difference that separates those 10, 15 players from the other 300, 400 players in the league? And it's small little things. And I look at music theory as, for producers, one of those small little things that can make you stand out. Now, I'm not saying you have to be classically trained and you got to go, spend a bunch of money, take classes and different things like that. But if you think about it, right, we all use pretty much the same software, right? Whether it be FL Studio, Ableton, Pro Tools, Logic, Cubase, whatever. We all are using around the same sounds, right? We got Omnisphere, you got Arcade, Splice, you got so many VSTs, right? That we're pretty much all have access to, right? You listen to the style of music that's being produced. We're all kind of, if you're in a specific genre, right, there's a specific sound that genre has, right? So what, as a music producer, can you do to make yourself stand out, right? If everybody doesn't know music theory and everybody is kind of just, picking the same scales and same keys and different things like that, eventually our music is all going to kind of sound the same, and there's really not going to be a lot that will separate us, right? So that's how learning music theory can kind of separate you a little bit, right? Yes, going back to Tim's point of music is a feeling, right? You don't need to know the theory of why this song sounds great. It's just a feeling that you get, right? That's true. But on the other hand, if you do know why, okay, when I use this scale and I go from the 4 to the 2 versus the 4 to the 6, and if you don't know what I mean, it doesn't really matter right now. But my point is, like, there's certain chord progressions, there's certain keys, there's certain scales and stuff like that invoke a certain feeling in you. And if you kind of know why, if you know the science behind it, not only will it make you be able to produce faster, you can lay out certain ideas easier, right? You don't have to spend so much time kind of messing around. You can go to exactly what you can play, exactly what you're already kind of hearing and thinking in your head. So you're kind of blending both that feeling that you're getting with a little bit of knowledge that you have behind the music theory. So that's my kind of perspective on it, of learning music theory, right? So I don't think it's a requirement. I don't think if you don't know music theory, you're not a real producer, right? In 2021, what do you think? Do you think it's something as producers you should even be worried or thinking about? Should you know some music theory? Just the basics is fine. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Young and driven.